you haven't ever been in the path of totality under a total solar eclipse, I sincerely recommend it. It was really something. And it got me thinking a lot about stuff and things. And when this coming weekend at the Yokoji Spring Retreat, what are we calling it this year? Cloud Mountain? Who comes up with these names? That's amazing. I want that to be my new band. And I want that on a t-shirt and a tattoo. Cloud Mountain. That's dope. Anyway, that's where I will be talking about the eclipse on Saturday night when they're like, go say something. And I'm like, ah. So, but I just want to invite you. That's a term that I've heard, I don't know, a couple thousand times in my whole lifetime. But path of totality. And if you have never heard this term before that I'm about to say, there's all different kinds of meditation in the meditation world. There's contemplations. There's, of course, mindfulness of the body, kayanupassana, mindfulness of wholesome qualities or wholesome actions, silanusata, meditation on the qualities of the Buddha, buddhanasati. There's all manner of different kinds of meditations. There's also what's called analytic meditations. This is where we take a concept and we kind of chew on it. And maybe it's as gentle and simple as just kind of dropping it into our awareness. So imagine taking a verse from a scripture or from a teaching, something that's, or a poem, a piece of graffiti, a song lyric, something that moves you in some way, something that touches you, reaches you. And you can read it, or if you have it memorized, turn it over in your mind and sit with it. And you don't necessarily have to recite it in your mind like a mantra. You could even just kind of, in the same way that we use the breath as the object of meditation or the body, you can use this concept or this verse or this piece of scripture, this teaching, as your object of mindfulness. And when you find yourself wandering, you can come home to this phrase or this word or this teaching. And I don't know what happened, but after about the 150,000th time I heard my darling angel wife say the path of totality, it kind of rang me like a bell. And I thought, oh, that's what this is. This path, this life, hopefully, is a path of totality, wherein nothing is excluded. The great master Dogen Zenji, founder of Soto Zen, used to talk about our whole life as one circle, as practice and realization. In fact, he would say, practice realization. He wouldn't even split it. Practice realization is one circle. The ancient teachers talk about the mandala. These, you've probably seen them, these beautiful pictures, these round circles. They represent wholeness, completion, where nothing is excluded and everything is integrated. So I invite you to sit, and rather than conceptualizing your practice like a sanctuary on an island away from the hustle and bustle of life, or like a locked room in a lonely tower, far away from the concerns of living and dying and health and sickness and duties and responsibilities. And even though when we sit together, I often say things like, set down all of your unfinished business. Sit like someone whose duties are completed. What I'm inviting you to do is to take rest in the midst of the mandala, the circle, the totality of your life. So if you aren't already, I invite you to sit comfortably, and your eyes can be open or closed as you like. When we talk about a path, we very often think of, well, when I get to the end of this path, then there will be my reward. And so much of the Buddha's early teachings can be thought of in this path model. He taught for 49 years in so many different levels and aptitudes of people. Gave practical diet advice to ravenous, gluttonous kings. Gave social justice teachings to those who were set aside and othered and oppressed in his culture and society. Gave teachings of emotional wholeness to those who were disturbed and depressed. So in one way, these are all therapeutic teachings which take you from point A to point B. And that's wonderful. But as the Buddha would point out, and all teachers after him, these teachings, these therapeutic path model teachings, only work because you always, already are that luminous, vast, spotless awareness. Your mind, the minds of all beings, and the mind of the Buddha, same mind. Your heart, the hearts of all beings, and the heart of the Buddha, same heart. No matter how long you polish a chunk of coal, it will not turn into a diamond. Time, effort, diligence, and yet it's made of the exact same material, otherwise it would not work. So, having offered these concepts as food for thought, I invite you to take a few moments and rest. With nowhere else to go. else to be. And with nothing else to do. At this point in the sit, I invite you to send your awareness throughout your body and notice if there is any tension or holding. And just notice. And maybe with the most gentle of invitations to breathe into that place of holding or tension and see if it wouldn't rather let go. Feel free to make sure your shoulders are relaxed and back and your chest is open. And then breathe into the stillness of the body at rest. with the understanding that your body and your breath, your heart and your mind are the supreme teachers. And they can tell you everything you might need to know. I offer you these 3 questions. And I invite you to think of them not as corrections, but as invitations to greater intimacy. Like a friend or a loved one bringing our attention to a rainbow or a flower. The 3 questions are: am I waiting for something to happen? Very often in my meditation, I notice that there is some agitation. And many times I'm waiting for some peaceful feeling to come. I'm waiting for the body and mind to settle. And that grasping, that clinging, that hankering actually causes more agitation. The second question is, am I waiting for something to stop happening? Sometimes when I sit, I'm waiting for my mind to let go of something it's chewing on. That aversion generally causes more agitation. The third question is so loving and so compassionate. The third question is, am I awake to what is happening now? Can I be present to whatever is arising right now? I leave you in the tender mercies of your body and breath for the next 3 minutes or so.